Hi friends, happy Monday and happy New Year. I've been celebrating here at Tenaya at Yosemite, and if you saw last week's post, you know how much I love this property. So in honor of the new year, I'm so excited to share it this week. 12 different Yosemite hikes for the 12 months of 2024. Join me for a year of Yosemite adventures. Starting our year of Yosemite hikes, the trail to Vernal Fall Footbridge is a favorite winter adventure of mine, and it's a perfect hike in January as the famous Mist Trail is often blanketed with glistening snow every new year. As you venture into Yosemite National Park during the winter months, the landscape transforms into a tranquil wonderland, and this is one of the most beautiful yet easily accessible winter Yosemite hikes, beginning at the east end of Yosemite Valley by the Happy Isles Nature Center. Soon after you begin on the trail, there are multiple spots to view the cascading water along the Merced River, and in less than half a mile, you'll want to stop at the overlook for wonderful views of Upper Yosemite Falls in the distance. At just under a mile, you reach the footbridge. You can hear the water raging as you approach the snow-covered wooden walkway. For a gentle day hike, this is the perfect spot to turn around. Winter hiking in Yosemite does require a little extra preparation, but the rewards are well worth it. Just make sure to check trail conditions, carry the essentials, hike with proper gear, including traction devices for your shoes. Even on a short hike like this, they're very important in the snowy, icy winter conditions. No February Yosemite trip is complete without planning a view of the famous Horsetail Fall natural phenomenon, most commonly referred to as Firefall. This popular park event happens for a few weeks each February when the sunlight reflects off Horsetail Fall at a specific angle during the sunset hours, creating a vibrant orange and red hue that makes it appear like the granite is on fire. And it's become so popular that the NPS has created specific guidelines in recent years to help protect the park's natural resources and to alleviate unsafe park crowding. To view Firefall for yourself, parking is available at the Yosemite Falls parking area, and this hike is more of a gentle walk at just a mile and a half, leading visitors to the official viewing spot near the El Capitan picnic area. You can also take the shuttle from Yosemite Village or Curry Village. Make sure to arrive early and bring warm clothes and a headlamp for walking back in the dark. And enjoy the crowds cheering as the natural waterfall display turns into a fiery sight from below. In 2024, park entry reservations will be required for multiple dates in February, so please make sure to visit the official Yosemite NPS website before your trip for the most accurate and up-to-date Firefall information. The official viewing platform and Bridalveil Fall Trail has just reopened to park guests after undergoing a major rehabilitation project. This is one of the easiest year-round Yosemite Valley trails, and the newly renovated walkway and viewing platform offer stunning waterfall views. At just over half a mile round trip, I've probably hiked this path every month of the year, but March is relatively quiet and you avoid the heavy summer crowds. The water is also often flowing with force by the early spring months. For April, let's head to Yosemite's namesake waterfall. Yosemite Falls is arguably Yosemite National Park's most famous waterfall, and it's one of the tallest waterfalls in the world. This three-tier waterfall crashes down over 2,400 feet, and it's known for its raging water in the spring months. The Lower Yosemite Falls Trail is a short, less than 1 mile loop, and as the snowmelt begins, walking to the footbridge at the base of this waterfall will leave you feeling like you just took a full shower with your clothes on. Getting drenched by the intense spray at the base of Lower Yosemite Falls is something every park visitor should enjoy at least once. And an April visit means you can avoid the heavy Memorial Day, May, and June park traffic to this popular spot. While I enjoy a snowy hike to the Vernal Fall Footbridge in winter, May is always my favorite month to hike the complete Mist Trail to Nevada Fall. The Mist Trail is one of Yosemite's signature day hikes that covers over 7 miles and 2,000 feet in elevation gain. While not a gentle day hike, you get spectacular close-up views of two of Yosemite's raging waterfalls along this trail. As this hike starts off, you'll enjoy the sounds and sights of the Merced beside you, and soon you'll reach the Vernal Fall Footbridge with its straight-on views of Vernal Fall. The path gets rougher here as you traverse the uneven granite leading up to the famous Mist Trail staircase. This is the spot you might want to pull out your poncho in the spring. It's easy to see the mist in the Mist Trail right here. There are over 600 steep granite stairs leading to the top of this waterfall. Often there's a rainbow crossing the bottom of this mist-filled basin, which serves as the perfect cherry on top of an epic waterfall sundae. As soon as you reach the wide open top of the staircase, you can walk safely to the fence at the edge of this 317-foot waterfall, and it's pretty incredible to watch the water rage over the edge up close here. At this point, you've hiked well over 2 miles and gained 1,000 feet in elevation. And in less than 250 feet past Vernal Fall is another spectacular spot. The Emerald Pool is named for its unique green color, thanks to algae located on the pool's submerged rocks. Just past Emerald Pool is a long, smooth granite slope known as the Silver Apron. I urge you to please respect the park's policies by not entering the water. Stay safe and be cautious as you hike here, heading up and crossing the bridge for more impressive views of the Merced. Then begin a final 1,000-foot in elevation gain push to Nevada Fall. At the base of the falls is a great place to pause and see a straight-on shot of this drop. The trail briefly winds into a much-appreciated shaded forest area before quickly opening back up to awesome views of Nevada Fall, which encourage you up the last series of steep, jagged switchbacks. After 3 miles and nearly 2,000 feet in elevation gain, this is often considered the most challenging section of the hike, but the incredible overlook at the top is a great payoff. The peak of Nevada Falls has multiple spots to watch the water rage. You'll also want to cross the footbridge for straight-on views of this 594-foot drop before turning around and heading back to the valley floor. May is the perfect time to set out on the Mist Trail hike because the water will be flowing spectacularly, but you won't encounter all the summer crowds here just yet. This is easily one of the park's most popular summer trails, and on weekends in June and July, this hike can feel downright packed with people, so consider avoiding this trail on weekends or hiking early in the morning if you do want to plan a summer visit here. For June, we're heading to the Hetchy area of Yosemite National Park, which is tucked away like a hidden gem in the northwest corner of the park. It's estimated that less than 10% of Yosemite visitors ever make the 40-mile drive from Yosemite Valley to see this area. That means June is a wonderful month to visit because you can avoid the heavy valley crowds and soak in the stunning scenery here. My favorite day hike is the trail to Wapama Falls, which begins by crossing the O'Shaughnessy Dam. This dam has been a major source of Yosemite controversy for over a century, as it completely flooded the beautiful valley below, despite heavy opposition from environmental groups and naturalists such as John Muir and the Sierra Club. Although the massive granite formations jutting out of the water here are beautiful, the landscape looked drastically different just over a century ago. Before the O'Shaughnessy Dam was constructed here, the views looked out on lush, thriving meadows and the meandering Tuolumne River winding through the valley floor. It's often said that the Hetchy Valley rivaled the majesty and the beauty of the famous Yosemite Valley, located just an hour away. The out and back hike to Wapama Falls comes in at just over 5 miles and 500 feet in elevation gain. After crossing the dam and exiting the 500-foot granite tunnel, you enter the Yosemite wilderness, beginning along a former service road headed to the Wapama Falls footbridges. The views along the ridge of the reservoir here offer an abundance of flora, fauna, and breathtaking scenery. Some of the most colorful and exotic plant species in North America are found along the Hetchy watershed, and June is when you can see many of them in bloom. Hiking in front of the famous Colonna Rock, which soars over 2,000 feet high near the right edge of the reservoir, is quite a sight to behold. When the snowmelt is peaking, you get great views of unnamed waterfalls flowing around you before crossing the Tuolumne Falls, which crashes down over 800 feet. Anywhere else, this incredible waterfall would be a main attraction, but here it's just a preview of what's to come. considered a seasonal waterfall, you're most likely to see the water raging here during June, and you get great views as you approach it along the trail. Crossing at the base of the fall can mean getting pretty wet, and I'd recommend checking trail conditions before your trip to ensure this section is safe to cross. Then you soon start a final descent along the jagged rocky section of the trail, and you hear the water from Wapama Falls roaring in the distance. Wapama Falls is fed by Falls Creek, and a series of footbridges cross directly in front of the cascading falls. The closer you get to the base of the waterfall, the harder it is to stay dry in June. I recommend a visit in June because in May the water can still be flowing so strong and powerfully that the footbridges can close to the public at times because they become unsafe to cross. Please watch for important warning signs that the NPS posts here. At times the water flow can be extremely dangerous as it crashes directly over the footbridges. Please remember to adventure within your own skill and safety limit following the park's safety signage, and make sure to check out the NPS website for the most up-to-date information before your Wapama Falls Hetchy trip. Glacier Point Road closes during the snowy winter months, but July is the perfect time to plan a drive up to Glacier Point. The hike from the parking area to the official Glacier Point lookout is less than a mile round trip, but it's a can't miss view. And if you're in the mood for more hiking in this area, head on up to Washburn Point, which is an easy 1.5 mile round trip hike from Glacier Point. For a more intense hike, you could set out on the extremely strenuous 4-mile hike, which has a deceiving name because it comes in at nearly 5 miles and over 3,000 feet in elevation change, and that's just one way. Make time to visit the beautiful historic geological hut on your Glacier Point visit. Any time of day, Glacier Point is worthy of a stop, although for sunset and sunrise, it might be a little extra special. In August, we're headed along Tioga Road to Tenaya Lake, which is often referred to as Yosemite's most beautiful lake, and it's understandable as it's surrounded by stunning granite peaks. The long August days of summer are the perfect time to sit back and enjoy a sunrise here, or you can enjoy views from all sides if you hike the 2.5 mile loop around this lake. And for the best overhead lake views, I actually like to head to Olmsted Point, located less than 3 miles away, and when you hike up to the high point behind Olmsted Point, you're likely to not only meet the local marmots lounging around, but you also get a glorious view of Tenaya Lake from above. I have visited Yosemite every September for the last half-decade, and each year there's one hike I have to head out on in September. I always rave about the Pohono Loop Trail. It's been one of my personal favorite Yosemite hikes of all time. The full Pohono Trail is a beast at over 13 miles and 3,500 feet in elevation change, and that's just one way. But this trail is home to some of the most epic Yosemite views. If you're not up for a hike quite that intense, the Pohono Loop covers just a 5-mile section of the trail, circling the trailhead from Sentinel Dome to Taft Point. I like to start this hike heading to Sentinel Dome first. After a mile of hiking, the short scramble to the top of Sentinel Dome provides majestic 360-degree park views. This is one of the most exposed spots in the park, so always check the weather forecast before heading out. And if you see storm clouds coming in, it's best to move down from this spot swiftly. From Sentinel Dome, the trail continues to my favorite section of this hike. You will encounter the fewest people and truly feel like you're stepping into the Yosemite's backcountry here without a strenuous multi-day backpacking journey. Along this trail, you get multiple unique views of Yosemite Falls and El Capitan from incredible cliff-top overlooks. And in under 1 mile, you reach Roosevelt Point, which opens up to the valley below. You also get a unique perspective of Sentinel Falls here, and this is my favorite place in the whole park to enjoy a picnic lunch or a beautiful afternoon. Continuing on, the next 2 miles lead to Taft Point as you leave the exposed sheer cliffs for the forest and tall trees. You gain over 400 feet in this section of the trail, and the last half mile of the section meets up with Taft Point Trail, and this is when you'll reconnect with more hikers. Taft Point is often considered a favorite sunset spot, and its giant fissures are a must-see. I love to hike in September here as the summer park crowds have begun to thin out, and you can often enjoy much of the incredible scenery here in solitude. California's famous Eastern Sierra fall colors often begin to descend on Yosemite in October, and it's the perfect time to enjoy Yosemite's Valley Loop Trail, a gentle 11-mile hike that leads through the most magnificent autumn colors found inside the park. If you're short on time, you can even enjoy a small section of this trail and still see stunning fall foliage. As the trail parallels Southside Drive, you come upon incredible colors, hiking past Yosemite's historic structures and its bridges, including Pohono and Sentinel Bridge. You often see the fall colors light up as the trail traces the Merced. You're sure to see bright yellows and rich copper fall colors here. November is often a season of transition in Yosemite. While the weather can be 70 degrees and sunny one day, the next it can be filled with clouds, sleet, or even snow. Year-round, Tunnel View is one of the most popular Yosemite viewpoints in the park. But to get this view to yourself, you might have to do a little hiking because Tunnel View is often packed with the crowds. However, the trail to Artist Point is an easy mile hike along the old Wawona Stagecoach Road. Artist Point provides similar views to Tunnel View, but without any of the crowds. You can enjoy unobstructed views of El Capitan, Bridalveil Fall, Half Dome, and the valley below. Tunnel View also serves as the trailhead to Inspiration Point as you hike a bit of the famous Pohono Trail. Inspiration Point is at a higher elevation, and Yosemite Valley views are majestic here. You can combine both Artist Point and Inspiration Point for a wonderful day hike. And because much of the trail is exposed, hiking in November allows you to enjoy the crisp fall air and avoid the relentless summer heat. I'm hoping to throw a bit of a curveball at you to round out the year. So for December, I'm going to recommend a hike to Mirror Lake. While this hike is most popular in the early summer months, and often it almost dries up during the fall, I love visiting in winter because it's such a quiet spot. Instead of splashing water and boisterous chatter, it's a sliver of solitude hidden in the heart of Yosemite Valley. And the hike can easily be reached via the old service road if conditions are icy and snowy. The half-dome reflections off the water are indeed mirror-like here by December. This is the perfect hike to add on to any December day in Yosemite Valley before heading back to your hotel and warming up for an evening by the fireplace. Thanks so much for joining me this week to explore all that Yosemite has to offer year-round. And for full details on all of the incredible hikes I shared today, make sure to check out my full blog post at flyingdawnmarie.com. Now there, I also have a complete post on Tenaya at Yosemite and everything they have to offer. This place definitely makes the perfect home base for any Yosemite adventure. If you enjoyed this week's post, please hit that like button and subscribe. And until next week, I hope you find adventure and encouragement wherever you go. Bye.